Great morning, fantastic morning, marvelous morning, terrific morning. Why? Because the God of our understanding, the creator of everything and everybody, chose you and me to rise this morning. And you want to know why you are alive? You want to know why you can breathe? Because he has a purpose for you this day, this day. And what way to celebrate that we are chosen just for today, this moment, this present time. And we need to give him the acknowledgement, the glory, the praise, the worship, the acknowledgement, and the hallelujah. I was chosen. I know who I am today. I know whose I am today. So before we get started, let me share with you my testimonial song that I found this morning because I wanted to know, right? Who am I? Who am I? And when I typed in the words, this song came up, and guess what? This may be my theme song. Listen.
Chosen generation, you can call for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation, we can call for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. And I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm working in power. I'm working miracles. I live a life of favor. Oh, I know who I am. I'm working in power. I'm working miracles. I live a life of favor. Oh, I know who I am.
Do you know who you are? Do you know whose you are? Woo! 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 Thank you, Lord. Listen.
We are a chosen generation. You can call for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We call for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am.
I know who I am, and I know whose I am. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the January the 28th and 29th perspective with Edwina B. Y'all. That's me, Miss Cuckoo for Cocoa Pops, sharing my experience, strength, hope on the AA Daily Reflections from a 12-step program entitled Today Twofold Treasures of the Past and the Joy of Sharing, incorporating the 5 agreements by the Ruiz family and transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja of P3 University. I'm on fire because I know who I am and I know whose I am. And so I don't represent Alcoholics Anonymous. don't represent the Ruiz family, don't even represent Dr. Sonja, right? But I represent the God who met me nearly 33 years ago underneath a parked car in the streets of Philadelphia, 3 o'clock in the morning, getting high and doing all kind of sexual favors with my stepson, both at the age of 34 under our severe addiction. And I put myself underneath that parked car to keep him from harming me. I believe I was saving my own life. So I thought. And while underneath that parked car, my life flashed before me. How, Edwina, at the age of 34, did you get underneath a parked car? You had aspirations of being a model, an actress. You were the vice president of your class. You were the co-captain of your cheerleader team. How did you get underneath that parked car and during my 14-year addiction, the rapes, the beat-ups, the spit on, called all kinds of names, the suicide attempts, I even committed murder. As a prostitute, yes, I had an abortion because I did not want the world to judge me. And I took life. I considered that murder. And I believe that everything that happened to me during that addiction, I deserved. I deserved unknowingly to me. Deep down inside of each and every one of God's creation, there's a spot reserved just for him. And whatever it took for me to go to that spot, I know now, I cried out these words, whoever they say you are, whoever they say you are, take me out this life now, or show me a better way. And I haven't looked back since. Why? Because the God that I now know didn't know then to the extent that I know now. Met me, delivered me, prepared me, molded and shaped me for things yet to come. And that was to be sitting in front of you just to save one more. Don't know who it is, ain't none of my business, right? But because he met me just the way I was, I've learned through this process to take off the mask. First, the physical mask, and then those masks that covers, right, my spirit that was God given by earthly things in earthly situations and circumstances. So therefore, I present to you right now the various physical masks that I wear, just to demonstrate I know who I am. And more importantly, I love myself today. I respect myself today. I want to embrace myself today. I want to be of service to others just for today. And most importantly, I want to serve my God just the way I am. But the masks must go. I know. Don't judge a book by its cover, I'm telling you. Because what you see is not who I am. No. Donald Lawrence said, you are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being encased and walking this natural experience. Therefore, the masks must go. Do a little bit of that. Look at my cuckoo for Cocoa Pop glasses, right? Huh? The mask must go. The mask don't need it. Don't even want it. Don't need it. Don't even want it. The mask must go. My God accepts me just the way I am, even without my dentures. You still love me? You still love me? Did I change? Did you change your perspective based on my mask? Or are you in tune with my spirit? I know who I am today and whose I am today. So the mask must go. When we take off the physical mask, then we can take off the spiritual mask that kept us from being utilized by our God, our Creator. He gave us everything we needed So heaven on earth is possible when I apply those spiritual principles to this earthly journey, now incorporating the 5 agreements and the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja from P3 University. I'm on fire! I want to put these back in for articulation and pronunciation purposes. But I love me today. Take off the mask. I dare you. No, I don't. If you want freedom, 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 huh? I'm relaunching my Free to Hope tour, right? As a transformational speaker. Free stands for from recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Yes. So come February the 23rd of 2023, we will be celebrating 33 years in this 12-step spiritual program called Alcoholics Anonymous, right? And practicing these spiritual principles in all our affairs. So heaven can be experienced here on this earthly journey. Yes, 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 yes. And so I want you to stay tuned. I have some announcements coming up. I'm going to have a virtual session, but I'm also going to have an in-person presentation where you can meet me personally, right? My cuckoo for Cocoa Pop. So there's nothing like being in the presence of each other. I know this is okay, but listen, all right. And yes, I'm just as cuckoo for Cocoa Pops in person as I am right now, because when you are transparent and you are authentic, it doesn't change wherever you are. All right. And so stay tuned for those announcements. And now what we're going to do, right? We're going to get into our topic today. So let's take a sip of coffee. All right. And today on Sundays, I'm with you for a whole hour, right? Why? Because on Sundays at my 12-step meeting, we meet from 9 to 10. Normally, Monday through Saturday, we meet from 7:30 to 8:30. So that's why you only get a half hour Monday through Saturday. And then yesterday, I got a new job assignment that starts from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. And I tried something different, which was to do a replay from last year, because I follow the rules now. I asked permission from my job. Can I go live? And they say, but I ain't had no problem asking, right? And so when I tried to find out how to do it and set it up and everything, and I did, until such time that while I was at work and I launched the replay, I forgot to silence the sound around me. So even though there were some echoes and some conversations while I was sharing my experience, strength, and hope from last year on the topic of January the 28th, right? The treasures of the past. I said, nah, I got to come back and I got to do this thing in person. All right. Replays are good, but I've learned so much from last year up until this year. So you want to get a double whammy today. And I believe it is divinely designed, because they go together. The treasures of the past and, right, the joy of sharing. All right. So you're going to get a double whammy today, and I'll be on for a while. So call your friends, share the post, invite them in, because I am only charged with helping one person. I want to thank Keisha, right, from the Well Empowerment session that she had yesterday. I had not done a in-person presentation of that magnitude, and I also was a vendor. And so we got to get up and share our experience, strength, and hope. And that's when I said, no, Edwina, sitting behind the camera is nice, but you need to be in person. So I've decided with my free launch, right? That I'm going to do both. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to share January the 28th daily reflections reading, marinate on it, dissect it, right? And I'm going to invite you to open up your spiritual ears, open up your spiritual eyes, right? So that you can get the author's intent of the spiritual message. Yes. And you may have to review it over and over again because, listen, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But as long as you put forth the effort and you want to understand, then to be understood, right? Then you will listen over and over again till you get that spiritual connection that will create a psychic change. Okay, so let's get into our topic today of the first one, right? Okay, so let me put it up on the board. Okay, here we go. All right, and let me move this out the way. Okay. All right, so those are 5 agreements. I'll get back to that later. But let's go here, right? Okay. So it says, now listen. January the 28th, the treasure of the past. Our co-founder writes, showing others who suffer how we were given help is the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. Cling to the thought that in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession you have, the key to life and happiness for others. With it, you can avert death and misery for them. This is from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 124. And the person in recovery shares his perspective and states that a gift it is for me to realize that all those seemingly useless years were not wasted. The most degrading and humiliating experiences turn out to be the most powerful tools in helping others to recover. And knowing the depths of shame and despair, I can reach out with a loving and compassionate hand and know that the grace of God is available to me. Huh? Did you hear that? Huh? Did you hear that? The treasures of the past. So let's dissect that, all right? You know how when we were little children, and we would hear about treasures. Now, I don't know about you, but I can only share my experience, strength, and hope. I associated treasures with pirates, pirate ships, and going to look for the treasures on the different islands, right? So somebody had put away some stuff, right? And it was the goal of the individuals who heard about these treasures, right? To seek, to go through the map and to go through they didn't have GPS back then, right? Okay, so but they were honed in on discovering where the treasures were, right? Planted, right? And so that's how I associated the word treasures um, uh, from my past. And then I also remember when we would watch the gladiators or the Roman pictures, and they had all this gold and jewelry and all that kind of stuff, and it was treasure, right? So that's another affiliation. See, what I've learned in recovery is to identify what my previous belief system was, my perspective, my attitudes, my ideas, my actions, my behaviors, so I can relate to what is being conveyed now. So I associated treasures with those two things, right? And I'm associate one more, but I'll get to that later. So anyway, the treasures of the past. Listen with your spiritual ear. The God of our understanding is saying, you have treasure. You have a lot of treasure. You are filled with a lot of treasure from your past. Oh, yes. It depends how you apply spiritual principles to earthly matters. We have treasures of the past. So let's start with that. All right. So now let's go to the next thing that they said, right? The co-author of the founders, he said, showing others who suffer how we were given help is the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. Woo! Did you hear that? Showing others who suffer how we were given help is the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. The fact that I am able to come before you as transparent and authentic as I could possibly be, it makes my life so worthwhile. I have been given purpose. I am in my will of God because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, one more out there is still suffering. Yes. And because I was chosen to be put on a pathway to recovery, to be mold shaped, prepared for things yet to come, to help one more person who still suffers. And that in itself has made my life so worthwhile. Okay? And so sharing my experience, my strength, my hope, and my perspective of my past and doing the 12 steps in detail, right? We discovered, right, in recovery, we have some treasures. Yes. And it all is not glittering gold, okay? So if you're looking for a purpose to help one more, just like one person helped me, but millions of us are still helping me now. But it was one person that touched me. And I said, then God, if you keep me sober long enough, I want to be able to share just like her. Yes. So, showing others who suffer how we were given help. So that means that when whoever is suffering, this is giving help to them like the help was given to me. That we can't do it by ourselves. No human power could ever relieve us of our alcoholism. God could and would if he was sought. So we need help. And this is helping, I know, at least one person. I know it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Why? Because I'm doing God's will, right? So help is important, right? So we share our past, but we also share the help that we got to be able to help somebody else, right? It's the very thing which makes life seem so worthwhile to us now. Now, the present. I enjoy waking up. I want to wake up. I want God to prepare me to touch one more, right? It's the very thing, right, that makes life so worthwhile to us now. Do you wake up with purpose? Do you wake up thinking how I can be of service to somebody else? Or do you, like me in the past, wake up, me. Ooh, being a part of this spiritual program, now incorporating the 5 agreements and the transformational teachings by Dr. Sonja. Listen, woo, God is doing something with me and I'm on fire. I'm on fire, y'all. Spiritually, I'm on fire. And guess what? I'm ready to go, 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 go. Because it's the very thing that makes my life worthwhile. To be able to help just one more in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Okay? So let's go on to the next thing. It says here, cling to the thought that in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession you have, the key to life and happiness for others. Oh my God, did you hear that? Cling, 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 cling to the thought that in God's hands, in God's hands, in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession I have. Now, see, don't concentrate on the dark past. Concentrate on the words that preceded it. It says, right, cling to the thought that in God's hands, the dark past is the greatest possession you have, the key to life and happiness for others. That basically says that, oh my God, we have been on this journey for as long as we can remember. For me, it'll be, I just turned 67 in December. I know, whatever. God's on sacred time, man's on secular time. So that 67 is just a number, right? Okay. But in my 67 years of being on this earthly journey, I have a past. I have some issues. I have a belief system. I have some attitudes, ideas, behaviors that were formulated way back when, which is why the 4-step inventory of the 12 spiritual principles is essential. Dr. Alvin Turner says, Edwina, we asked the wrong question. Like you may have asked yourself underneath that parked car, what's wrong with me? He said, no, Edwina, there's nothing wrong with you. You need to ask the question, what happened to you? And that's what the 12 steps did for me and millions of others. Help us to go back in our past to find out where that belief system, those attitudes, ideas, behaviors, actions were first formulated by whom and what circumstances, what situation that has perpetuated up until now. Until such time for me, underneath that parked car, February the 22nd of 1990, that belief system no longer worked. It didn't work. And as a result, that experience is something that I had and I can share to help somebody else. Ooh, this is so good, okay? And so it goes on to say, it's the key to life and happiness for others. You see how energetic I'm happy I am? I'm happy. I'm happy. And I want at least one other person to experience that same feeling only if they are willing to do the work once they have been motivated, inspired, and willing to achieve a psychic change. That's what's required, okay? It says, with it, let's go on. Let's see what the last sentence says. It says, with it, you can avert death and misery for them, right? That's saying that, wow. You mean to tell me that me sharing my experience, strength, and hope of the past, good and bad, indifferent or otherwise, can help somebody else? You're damn right. People need to connect and they connect when we be authentic and transparent to tell the truth. Once we tell ourselves the truth, to our own self be true, we are prepared to tell others the truth about ourselves and give them the same pathway to do the same thing. So yes, with it can avert death and misery for others. That's why I share my experience, my strength, my hope, and my perspective just to save one, just like that one saved me. Okay? And so the person in recovery, he writes that a gift it is for me to realize. Okay, baby, wait. Let me go back. Okay. He says here that a gift it is for me to realize, right, that all those seemingly useless years were not wasted. Woo! That a gift, y'all. It is for me. A gift it is for me to realize, to become awakened to become aware of the gift. It is for me to realize that all those seemingly useless years were not wasted. Every day, all of us, and I, till the day, even practicing these principles, have that if I coulda, woulda, right, thought. And particularly early in recovery, we come into recovery with all the remorse and the guilt and the shame and all of the wasted time. But see, we are measuring it by secular time. God is looking at it by sacred time. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And when teachers are ready, the students will appear. All right. So it is a gift for me to realize that all these seemingly useless years were not wasted. Okay. He goes on to say, right, the most degrading and humiliating experiences turn out to be the most powerful tools in helping others to recovery. How degrading and humiliating it was for me to be underneath a parked car. Yes, cats and dogs go underneath cars. I put myself underneath that parked car to keep my stepson from hurting me as a result of having a flashback from my past when I used to play hide and seek and I used to hide under the bed to keep from being found out or to keep from being hurt, right? So yes, that was the most degrading. Aside from the rapes, being passed around like a bucket, spit on, called all kinds of names. Homeboy said, do me, but do my boys too. Huh? If you don't, I'm going to sick this dog on you. As humiliating and degrading as that was not my knee-bowing experience. My knee-bowing experience was underneath a parked car. Yes. And so when I realized that, who would have believed that it would turn out to be the most powerful tool in helping others to recover? See what I mean? See what I mean? See what I mean? Oh, I hope you're getting this. I hope you're getting this. Keep reviewing this, right? Pass it on other people. This is awesome, right? So the most degrading and humiliating experiences turn out to be the most powerful tools in helping others to recover. Why? Because through that degrading and humiliating experience, you gain humility and you say, help me, whoever they say you are. Every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess he is. All right. So powerful tool. Then it says, and knowing the depths of shame and despair, I can reach out with a loving and compassionate hand and know that the grace of God is available to me. That's why I know I am favored. That's why I know I am blessed. That's why I know I've been chosen. Yes, because I am willing, happily willing to seek and do God's will to save just one more, like someone did for me, right? And so I can reach out with a loving, unconditional loving, and compassionate hand, and know that the grace of God is available to me. Huh? Your grace and mercy brought me through. I'm living this moment because of you. I want to praise you and thank you too, for it was your grace and your mercy that brought me through. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, and now I see. Treasures of the past. Okay, so the next 22 minutes I'll share on January the 29th. Okay, so this is the foundation for the next one. Okay, so this is good. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, so let's read what the next one says. Okay, all right, January the 29th. Okay, it says here, the joy of sharing. From our co-founders, life will take on new meaning. To watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish, to see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. We know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 89. And the person in recovery states, to know that each newcomer with whom I share has the opportunity to experience the relief that I have found in this fellowship fills me with joy and gratitude. I feel that all the things described in AA will come to pass for them as they have for me if we seize the opportunity and embrace the program fully. Ha ha! Woo! The joy of sharing. The joy of sharing. Let's decipher that. We know what joy is, right? We know what joy is. It's an emotion. Joy, 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 joy. Happy, joy, joy. To have joy in what? Sharing? Sharing what? In this 12 spiritual program, we know the real value of sharing the truth, the light from our perspective until such time we achieve that psychic change. But if we are not willing to share the truth with ourselves, we cannot share with anybody else. Underneath that car. Yes. Who want to share that? But I am joyous to share it with you. Yes, I am. I'm so happy that I can share that degrading and humiliating experience with you. Yes. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't have pity for me. No, rejoice. Because that's what it took for me to say, help me, whoever they say you are. Put me on a pathway to recovery. And I said, when I heard that girl, if you keep me sober long enough, I want to be able to share just like her. She gave me joy. She gave me hope. She gave me freedom. From recovery, emerge empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. She did that for me. It's joy in sharing. All right. So let's dissect the word. Like, life will take on a new meaning. Woo! From our old belief system that the Ruiz family talked about, right? The domestication that took place and takes place because, that's what happens. And we do our fourth, fifth step. And then in the sixth step, we become entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character, right? And so when we discover what they are, right, we in the seventh step humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings, right? Character defects are nothing more than God-given natural instincts that have far exceeded their purpose. And so these 12 spiritual principles, now incorporating the Ruiz 5 agreements and Dr. Sonja's transformational teachings, I achieved a psychic change, right? For the purpose of giving my life a new meaning. I refuse to tell God to kiss my behind. Oh, hell to the no. I refuse. This life that I have now is so much more meaningful, with purpose, with direction, and with spiritual wisdom. So you better believe I want to be able to share the joy of my journey of transparency and becoming authentic to help one more, okay? And as a result of me sharing my experience, strength, and hope in meetings, right? It says here, right? To watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish, to see a fellowship grow up about you, to have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. Oh boy, boy, boy. See, I now know that in God's infinite wisdom, all things, all things, all things work for our good for those who love him, acknowledge him, believe in him. Because we don't understand. We thought something was wrong with us. No, something happened to us, right? And so when we share, right, the treasures of our past, and we share the most devastating and humiliating and degrading things, right, for the purpose of helping one other and prompt them to do the same thing so that they can too be set free from recovery, emerging power to give what? Hope to others, help others prosper equally. So that when we share our experience, our strength, our hope, and our perspective in our meetings, right, we are saying to the newcomer, we understand. We were once there and sometimes still can be there. You are a reminder of us, of where we came from, and we want to let you know where you can come to. So yes, we as people who've been in recovery for a while, right? We watch the newcomers, right? And to see them beginning to help others, right? So they went to their buddy and say, "Man, come to this meet, man. They talking real stuff, right? Right? I don't know about it. I don't know everything, but come on. It's like, oh my, he excited, right? Even though he is still wrapped with a lot of guilt, shame, but he found some relief, right? When he come into a room and other people are sitting around the table, like, who are these people? I don't know them, but yes, you do. They have the same disease that I have, unknownly to us, the disease of addiction, the disease of alcoholism, which is a fatal disease, okay? So we watch them help others. We watch the loneliness vanish, right? To see a fellowship grow about them, right? To have that host of friends, right? So we say, just like we used to say in the bar or the hit house and even in the brothel, right? Come on, celebrate. Yeah. No, hell to no. No, this is of a spiritual nature. This is of a spiritual growth. This is of a spiritual journey, one of transparency and authenticity, right? And so we introduce them and say, you need to keep coming back because you don't want to miss what's in store for you. All right, let's go to the next sentence, okay? It says here, we know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is the bright spot of our lives. AA page 89. right? Listen, people say, Edwina, you go to your meetings every day? Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I look forward to going to my meetings every day in one way, shape, form, and fashion. Why? Because that's my spiritual doctor's appointment. Yes. I go there to experience everything that I just laid out before you, right? All of us just have one day reprieve from a fatal disease. So why wouldn't I want to do the same thing I did nearly 33 years ago now? And more importantly, it is my obligation, it is my duty, and most importantly, it is my honor to go back and help somebody else. How dare I not go back to where the help was given to me? No, 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 no. So that's listen, my A mean is the brightest spot of my day. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And when I go around the country, as I do, the first thing I do is look up an AA meeting so I can get connected, pin insurance on my recovery, and continue to make my spiritual doctor's appointment. All right. And so the reader writes, right? He says, the person in recovery. So let's see what he says from his perspective. To know that each newcomer with whom I share has the opportunity to experience the relief that I have found in this fellowship fills me with joy and gratitude. Huh? Right? Okay, so let's dissect this. To know that each newcomer with whom I share has the opportunity to experience the relief from the grips, from the depth of that alcoholism, obsession, and compulsion. We seek relief. We want the pain to stop. But we have to put down the drink first. And so here, the relief that I have found in this fellowship fills me with joy and gratitude. And a grateful, recovering alcoholic will never drink again one day at a time. Do you hear me? And so, yes, to know that each newcomer with whom I share, that's you, has the opportunity to experience the relief that I have found in this fellowship fills me with joy and gratitude. I'm happy for you. Yes. And sharing the treasures of your past, no matter how degrading and humiliating it is. You may have some liabilities, but we also point out your assets. It's called a balance sheet, right? Okay. So the last thing he says, right, before I introduce the 5 agreements, it says, I feel that all the things described in AA will come to pass for them as they have for me, if they seize the opportunity and embrace the program fully. Okay. So listen. I tell y'all, I have to equate something in my past in order to gain a better understanding of what they're saying here. So let me keep it simple, right? It says, right, I feel that all the things described, let's say, at the bar, at the hit house, will come to pass for those people I invite to the drug house, in the speakeasy in the bar, right? Right. And they can achieve what those things gave to me. If they seize the opportunity and embrace the hit house and the bar fully. Different mindset, but the same opportunity, right? That we want to share, whether it be a negative or positive. But in recovery, we want to share the joy of living, not the joy of getting high, not the joy of prostituting. There ain't no joy in that. But the illusion is that we are, right. You're sick trying to get well. And every human being is sick to some extent. And every human being can utilize the 12 spiritual principles of a 12-step program. Yes. Okay. And so now he says, so let's go back to what he says. I feel that all the things described in AA will come to pass for them as they have for me if they seize the opportunity and embrace the program fully. Alcoholics Anonymous learned from the two previous movements, the Washingtonians, which was a temperance group. If you just put down the drink and we kind of come together and talk about it, right? Back in the 20s or 30s, they had close to 600,000 people. That's a lot of people back then, right? But they met their demise. Why? Because they failed to place spiritual principles over personalities. But their information, their experience was not wasted. They shared it, but it wasn't wasted. Why? Because the next movement, the Oxford group, say maybe the temperance thing, so let's come from a religious aspect, right? And so I don't know how many members they had, but our co-founders, Dr. Bob, right, Bill W., and a host of others were a part of the religious group, the Oxford group. And somewhere, I don't know, it was this guy named Roland, right? He was affiliated with the church and, he did all the things and all the kind of stuff, but he couldn't stay sober. And so it was suggested to him to go see Dr. Carl Jung in Switzerland or Sweden, right? And Dr. Carl Jung said, we in the medical field can't help y'all. Those in the religious field can't help y'all. Roland, what y'all need to address your disease of alcoholism is divine providence, divine intervention that will create a psychic change. Roland went back to New York or Cleveland, right? And talked to Dr. Bob and Bill W. and the other. And they said, well, that's the key. It has to be a spiritual experience. It has to be a spiritual awakening. It has to be spiritual in nature, not temperate, not religious, but a spiritual. We are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings encased in walking this natural experience. And so guess what? The treasures of the past from the Oxford group was not wasted either, because Alcoholics Anonymous was formed and has been in existence for nearly 90 years. So guess what? We learned from other people's treasures, right? And we believe we have the answer. Why? Because millions of others are in recovery. We have 129 groups around the world. Right? No, we are in 129 countries around the world. Yes. So could you imagine how people like myself who are in recovery need to feel obligated and duty bound, but have honor to want to share our experience, our strength, and our hope by utilizing all aspects of the AA program fully. Not in segments, not picking and choosing. No, I didn't take a half a hit, did I? I didn't take a half a drink, did I? No. We do the same thing in recovery. It's the holistic approach. But we learned that by keep coming back. Okay. So let's see. And so what I want to share with you is how when we embrace the program and its full capacity, we will achieve the full spiritual knowledge, wisdom, and practice of the 12 spiritual programs. Okay. And so now that the treasures of the past, right? We begin and feel the joy of sharing with others just to help one more. And so now, including the 5 agreements, let's talk about that for the next 5 minutes, okay? All right. So with the Ruiz family, and I'm so glad I came across this these 5 agreements, okay? So the first one says, be impeccable with your word. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others, right? And so that's what I mean by being impeccable with your word. I no longer want to sin against myself. So I know who I am now and I know whose I am now. And so I want to be impeccable. I want to practice saying positive spiritual things that describes love, right? The light, the truth. And when I do that for myself, I can do it with you. Okay. And so sharing the treasures of the past to share with others is the way to go. All right. And so the next agreement, right? It says, don't take anything personally, right? How many of us, right? When we share our experience, our strength, and our hope, there's times when people, and I've experienced that, oh my God, what they said to me after the meeting and the opinion they gave me, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that, or maybe I shouldn't have said, I took it personally. My sponsor said, Edwina, how many people came up to you and said you helped them? I said 99.9%. And you mean to tell me that 0.5%, the person said you didn't do a good job and you focused on that? Don't take anything personally, those that you helped and those that you didn't help. What you did was share your own story, your own experience, your strength, your hope. Yes, don't take anything personally. Okay. Oh, what freedom. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ain't that easy, but it's necessary. All right. So let's go ahead to the next one. All right. It says here, right? The next one says, don't make assumptions, right? Don't make assumptions, right? And so oftentimes, people like me who started out didn't know I was a public speaker, didn't know I could be an author, didn't know I could be a model, didn't know I could be an actress, didn't know I would be getting my doctorate in biblical study, didn't know none of that. Because the assumption that I made of myself, because I thought something was wrong with me, I won't be nobody. I'll never be nobody. No, I practiced through the 5 agreements, stop making assumptions about myself. And when I do that, I can stop making assumptions about you. All right. See how these things work together? Okay. And so the next one is, okay, it says always do your best, right? Always do your best. And so as a result of practicing being totally transparent, as a result of practicing being authentic, that's why I come on with the mask and all that kind of stuff to show you, yeah, it looks nice, but it's not who I am. It's not who I am. It's not who I am. So I need to be my best to me and my best to you. And that means being totally transparent and totally authentic. Therefore, if I use the first 3 agreements, be impeccable with my word, don't take nothing personally, don't make assumptions, I will do my best in any and all situations, not giving anything or anybody that much power to put me back underneath that car. Oh, hell to the no. Okay? All right? I got 1 minute. All right? So let's go to the next one. It says here, okay, let's move this out the way. The next one is, okay, it says here, be skeptical, but learn to listen. Don't believe yourself or anybody else unconditionally. You know how we talk to ourselves, we judge ourselves, we criticize ourselves, right? Huh? Once you learn the 5 agreements and how we were domesticated to think that way, feel that way, it's a lie. It's a big lie. It's a big lie. Because it's only based on someone else's opinion, someone else's belief system. It is not who I am. So I need to practice being skeptical of the things I say to myself and the things other people say. Not to judge or criticize, but listen, What is the spiritual message? What is the spiritual angle? What is the spiritual motive? If I put the spiritual aspect in it, and it's all based on it being unconditional. Listen, oh my God. Hello. So I started out this morning talking about the January the 28th and the 29th. And so I want to remind you that I'm going to be doing a virtual session of my journey from transparency and authenticity. And you're going to be getting information about that. I'm also going to be hosting an in-person presentation of the same thing during the month of February around my anniversary. So I want at least one person to show up to each event. That's all I need. That's all I need, right? That's all I need, right? And so if it's God's will and He prepares me, it will happen because I don't mind sharing my treasures of the past if it's going to help you achieve freedom from recovery, emerge empowered, to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. Until we meet tomorrow, if it's God's will, we'll be back. And I hope you will be too. God bless you.